House Republicans met today to choose their third speaker designate in 3 weeks. Here's a look at how that started.
Sean, the charge is spoken. Time for you to go.
Except after booting 6 candidates off the island, the Republican version of Survivor turned full-on Lord of the Flies real fast. Now that their ability to govern themselves has devolved into full-blown anarchy, in a private vote, the tribe chose Majority Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota as Speaker Designate number 3. At least 26 members held out on Emmer. Some expressed concern over Emmer's voting record on things like certifying the 2020 election, Ukraine, and a slew of other reasons.
I can't go along with putting one of the most moderate members of the entire Republican conference in the Speaker's chair. That betrays the conservative values that I came here to fight for.
How concerned are you about his vote on same-sex marriage?
Very concerned.
Could you vote against him?
Yes.
Would you? Are you gonna? Is there any way you would vote for him?
No.
People are talking. He's had some issues with the former president. I think some of the comments that he's made in the past, I'm not going to get specific, but I think it's causing him some problems.
Ooh, just way too moderate and normal. His problems with the former president got worse when Donald Trump, who less than 24 hours earlier said he was staying out of the Speaker debacle, shanked Emmer on his fake Twitter. Trump said Emmer hadn't defended him enough, was totally out of touch with Republican voters, and that voting for a, quote, globalist rhino would be a tragedy. With his shot at 217, basically DOA at that point. Late today, Emmer abruptly dropped his bid. Clearly, the third time's not the charm, and Republicans are back to square one. Joining me now is NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale and Tim Miller, writer-at-large at The Bulwark and an MSNBC political analyst. Oh, Ali, what in the fresh hell is going on in that building behind you?
I have not left this hallway all day, Joy. I think
you
the
live there now.
Mood here
it's where you live.
Is exactly your question. I live here. Forward my mail. Someone else go pay my mortgage, because we're all installed here, and they're staying for the rest of the night. Can I just add, Joy? They're supposed to vote in about 30 minutes for another balloting round to find another speaker designate, because Emmer, as you pointed out, only lasted in that role for about 3 hours before he pulled himself out of contention. So this is where we stand. And I have spent some time reporting over the course of the last few minutes with our colleague Scott Wong that there is now a push being floated by former Speaker McCarthy to be reinstalled as Speaker McCarthy alongside Jim Jordan as the assistant speaker. 2 points to make here, and I do hear your laughter. 2 points to make here. The first is one source who was... I can't even continue with you. Let me finish. One source who was briefed on this idea told me that it would work like Pelosi and Catherine Clark, Speaker and Assistant Speaker. So there is technically a precedent for this, but there is also very much an office reference here about Dwight being the assistant to the regional manager, and I think that's probably more apt because, as your laughter suggests, this is probably not going to happen, but it's being floated, and we just report the news here, Joy.
Tim, you want to be speaker? I mean, at this point, they just need somebody to do the job.
You refer to me as speaker designate. It's the title that I'm going for going forward. Everybody gets to be speaker designate. It is a title without a job, apparently, and so why not me?
I mean... But I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at your great reporting. But Tim, so you mean so this is what we're doing? Kevin McCarthy said, "I have a bright idea. Me. I'll be speaker. It's the thing I've always wanted anyway. Just give it back to me." Like that's is this ever going to end? Can Ali go home at some point?
I don't think Ali can go home, and she
home,
might end
Tim.
up being speaker designate as well at some point. A lot of people are getting the title. Mike Kevin, why not Mike Kevin? I mean, he's gotten the most votes so far. I think, he didn't have 217, but he had more votes than Scalise and more votes than Jordan and more votes than Emmer. So, maybe they should go back to Mike Kevin. Here's the problem, Joy and Ali, in seriousness. Like, the thing is, the MAGA wing has control over this here. And these guys might not want to believe that. And maybe I think they're hoping that one day that the MAGA weirdo caucus was going to wake up and they're just going to be like, oh, fine, we'll go with Tom Emmer, just the same thing as Kevin McCarthy. But why would they do that? They have the Republican voters are with the arsonists. You know, if this is a dumpster fire that has been started by Matt Gaetz, like the Republican voters are with the people lighting the fire in the dumpster. And so, you know, until those people agree on someone, I guess I don't understand why they keep voting. Like, they really should just get the 30 craziest members together and say, you guys give us a list of who you would accept. Right. And then we can decide from that list. That would be my advice on how to move forward. Or, and I feel like it's Groundhog Day, I've been saying this on MSNBC for 3 weeks, or all it takes is 5 of them to just walk down the hall, and any one of those 5 could be the speaker. And I don't understand at this point why not one of them want to see a portrait of themselves. Don Bacon, you know, Kay Granger, get your portrait. All you got to do is knock on Hakeem Jeffries' door and bring 4 of your friends with you, maybe 3 of your friends, depending on who shows up to vote on a given day. So that could happen, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like anybody wants to do that.
Well, Allie, let's go back to you, since you do live there, and so you know everybody there. Are there 5 Republicans, or are Republicans behind the scenes having that conversation? Because it seems to me that the only people who can get anywhere have to have denied the election. So that's number 1, right? You have to have denied the election. Yeah. But are there some of the normies left who are talking about maybe just cutting a deal with Democrats and getting a speaker in place? It would still be a Republican, likely still very conservative, more conservative than most Democrats would like, but at least there'd be someone doing the job.
So I entertained some McCarthy fan fiction for you, and although it was well reported by my colleague and Scott Wong and I do think it's extremely far-fetched. I will now entertain some consensus government fan fiction for you and your audience, which is that in theory, that's very logical to have someone cross party lines and go to Hakeem Jeffries' door and say, hey, let's do something so that this place just works again. But I don't think that's going to happen. I almost think that when we apply too much logic to this scenario, it's where it gets really frustrating and where it doesn't work anymore, because there is no logic that seems to be functioning behind this, Joy and Tim. I think we're just squarely in a place where Republicans only want to do this by themselves. Even the most frustrated and so-called moderate among them are still not willing to cross party lines. And Democrats, even last week, continued to say, Catherine Clark said on the floor when she was nominating Hakeem Jeffries yet again, she said, take yes for an answer. Democrats are willing to empower Speaker Pro Tem McHenry. That idea seemed to have died on the vine among Republicans, but there were Democrats that I talked to who were actually very behind it and would have happily, both politically at home and pragmatically here in Washington, happily backed that as an idea. But within this Republican conference, it again seems dead on arrival. And so, yeah, if we're entertaining fanfic, sure, there's a world in which that happens, but I just don't really see it here.